Hey guys, it's Jenny and Andrea here. Today we're doing a little spotlight on Andrea so you guys can get to know her better. So I'm going to be interviewing her and asking her some questions about herself. So the first question we want to ask today is, why did you become a PT?
Well, hey everyone. Looking back at high school, that's kind of where I started learning about what PT was. But in ninth grade, a student from Mexico came to our school. He was awesome. He was a soccer player, a fast runner, really fun. He didn't speak much English, so every day he would teach us a Spanish word and we would teach him a word in English. And shortly after he came, he had to get immunizations. And he got them, and within a few hours after he got them, he lost feeling and movement in half of his body. And I just remember feeling so helpless. Like I wanted to do something to help him, but I wasn't sure. And he was in the hospital for 3 months, and to this day he's still in a wheelchair. He's still doing rehab, but I just remember really wanting to be able to help him somehow. And I remember learning about physical therapy at that point, and so it kind of started me down this road.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So did you decide in high school or college that you wanted to be a PT then?
It was high school that I started learning about it, and then in college I changed my major 5 times in college. I was going to be a nurse, and then lots of things. But then I finally decided in college. I started out thinking physical therapy, then I changed, and then I ended up with physical therapy.
Nice. And then, so after that, you went to PT school in Texas.
Yes. So I grew up in Arkansas. I grew up in Northwest Arkansas.
Gotcha.
And we are in Central Arkansas, both of us. But then I decided I wanted out of Arkansas for graduate school. So I applied to 4 different schools and got accepted to University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. I went there. I loved it. Loved it there.
Nice. I'm loving how the sun just came out like on her.
Yes.
As we're interviewing, it's like, oh. Anyway, okay, yeah, so Texas, that's awesome. And we actually were both in Houston around the same time and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And we went to college together. It's just crazy that we're in this together now.
Very crazy.
But yeah, so you were in college, you were in PT school in Texas, and you got married.
Yes. So I met my ex-husband now, second semester in school, and then we got married about a year after school.
Wow. And that's no longer.
Yes. So
he's no longer with us.
Good man. But where I was in that part of my life, I didn't value myself a whole lot. And I was just in a place where I was giving. I was very much of a people pleaser, and I ended up getting in a relationship based on that. And again, good man, but not necessarily a good husband for me. He learned that he could take advantage of me, and we created habits that were poor. And so about a year in, I realized if I stayed in this route, I would not be living a life that I loved. It would be a very suffocating life. And so I made a very scary decision, probably the scariest decision I've ever made. But I asked him for a divorce, and that was kind of the starting point of my personal growth journey.
Yeah. Wow. And then, so how many years have you been a PT now?
So I graduated from PT school in August of 2015. That sun is bright.
Yeah.
And then I have been treating for about 4.5 years now.
Okay. Gotcha. And so what is it that you just absolutely love about PT in the last 4.5 years? What is it just lights you up when you go to work?
My biggest love for physical therapy, I think it's really the connection that I get to make with patients. Something that's been always important to me in being a physical therapist is helping people find their freedom and really their physical freedom. I hate seeing people being limited within their own bodies. And so getting to know people, forming relationships with patients, and really getting to know what's important to them and helping them find that physical freedom.
Yeah.
That's been so meaningful, so exciting.
Yeah, it's huge. Like those moments when someone walks for the first time
Yes.
after an injury. It's just amazing. So what are you doing for work now?
So right now I work at a rehab hospital. I work PRN. I was working about 3 days a week, and I've gone down to about 6 days a month, which has been really nice as we're starting this business. And then I'm also getting into treating patients for cash. So still learning a lot about that.
Okay, good. So some good tips coming soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And explain to me how your journey began as an entrepreneur.
Well, after my divorce, I moved back to Arkansas. I was living in Houston. I moved back to Arkansas, and I was struggling with burnout, and I was just looking for other means. So really getting out of my marriage kind of helped me spring into realizing that my life can be my own. It can be whatever I want it to be. And so I started learning about becoming an entrepreneur. And then in that year, that was 2017. And then it was summer of 2018 that I actually started my first website. I called it Talk Pelvic to Me. So initially I was getting into pelvic floor.
Yeah.
I didn't love the clinic work, but what I found was I loved the educational component. And I loved really inspiring empowerment in women to have a voice for who they are and have a voice for their needs. So a lot of women would come to me and say they were too scared to talk to their doctors about this stuff, or their doctor would just write them off if they talked about a pelvic floor issue.
Yeah.
And so I started the website Talk Pelvic to Me, and it was all about educating women on pelvic floor health and exercises they can do and basic urinary incontinence things. And I'm grateful that Jenny has entered my life, because something I'm not so good at is kind of staying in one spot. I like to dream big, and I'm always looking for the next new thing. And Jenny has really helped me with that, thankfully.
She's helped me dream, and I've helped her keep her like on earth.
Yeah, we're a good match. But and also I like to chase things that haven't been done before. So that's a big reason why I got into pelvic health, is because I didn't think a lot of women were being served with that. And so the more I got into it, the more I saw how many women were actually in it. And so I got a little bit deeper, and I started Soulful Pleasure, which was a sexual wellness platform. Where really same lines about inspiring empowerment in women to speak up and have a voice in their sexual pleasure, and to really understand their anatomy and how to speak up for themselves in that. And then I was also working with people post spinal cord injury, post stroke, post orthopedic surgery or injury, to return to sex. And then a few months ago, 6-7 months ago, last summer,
sometime,
I met Jenny, and I was still working on that. I had a beautiful website, but then I realized I wanted to go in a little bit different direction.
And so what was that turning point when you started to realize that you wanted a different life?
Honestly, it was after my divorce. Like, up until that point, I was very much a people pleaser, and I put my value in what I could do for others. If I can serve other people, if I can make their life comfortable, that gave me value. And I think when I was in this marriage that was not going well, it was suffocating. I hate to say that, but I mean, it was. I realized, like, I don't have to stick with the status quo. I don't have to do what everybody else wants me to do. And that extended from my relationship into my career as a physical therapist too. And really just, I started digging into personal growth and recognizing that my value is innate. And I started investing in coaches and reading lots of books. And
you had 2 coaches, right?
So I had one, Allie Daniel. I started working with her summer of 2018, and she really worked with a lot of limiting beliefs when starting a business, and just kind of how to get into coaching. And then I worked with Chanel Yoder. She's in this group, and she's fantastic. I did her course online, and then I actually went on a retreat to Mexico with her.
And so when she came back from the retreat, we kind of talked about some of the stuff, and I mean, it was heavy. It was very, very heavy for sure when Andrea was telling me about everything they had learned. And one of the things I wanted you to kind of share with the group here is when you got back, if you could summarize it shortly, like what was your big takeaway from that, and how did that change your vision for your dreams?
So, I mean, the big thing, and Chanel's worked with me with a lot of things, but the biggest thing that I took away was we create habits and coping mechanisms as we grow up from our childhood in order to survive life. We create behaviors and habits that, and a lot of times we carry that into adulthood when we don't necessarily need them anymore. And so, for example, something I've always done is really trying to make everybody feel comfortable and please everybody else over myself. But I realized I was doing that in order to feel valuable. It served my worth by making everybody feel comfortable and putting their needs before mine. And that was very obvious in my marriage too. And so really, she's helped me realize my worth is innate. My value is, I have value because I'm a human. I don't have to do anything to earn my worth. And so really, I was able to step back and look at what my life was doing, what I was doing in life, and see I don't have to please everybody else to be valuable, because my value comes because I'm a human. I can do whatever I want. I can create a life that I love, even if other people don't like it.
And I think that was, I mean, so impactful. And Oh, that was a big fish. I don't know if you guys heard that. Anyway, this is not a green screen. This is real life. Sorry. So when you came back and we were talking, a few weeks went by, and I remember I was just having a really tough day and kind of struggling with my personal business ideas. And Andrea came over, and I was painting some outdoor furniture, and she was talking, and she's like, I think I really want to create a Facebook group where we support other women in healthcare that are burnt out. And she's like, it makes me feel nauseous. So I think that's something we need to do. And I think that confidence came from, your learning from that trip with Chanel, for sure.
Yeah, because if I was still at the point where I was trying to make everybody else happy to feed my value, I wouldn't step out of the norm. I wouldn't step away from the status quo. I would still be in a miserable relationship working a full-time job that I wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have to do that. I don't have to follow the status quo. I'm allowed to do what I really want to do and follow my heart.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of this personal growth that you've had and that you've shared with me, and I've been able to start reading books, and really I've learned a lot just since, you came back into my life. One of the big things was realizing that we could step out of the bounds of what our license was. We didn't have to do an alternative career that fit into our license. We could help other women without having to go in and work in a clinic, right? Which was really freeing and terrifying, like to think,
so scary.
I just need to go to work. I got a doctorate. I went to 7 years. I have all the student loan debt. I should go to work every day. Mm-hmm. But the reality is this is making both of us so much happier.
Yeah. I mean, and if you go with what society says, and sometimes even what family and friends say, they question it, but you have to really know that your value is your own and that you don't have to make everybody else happy to make these decisions. It's really what you want and to create a life that you love. It's exciting.
Yeah. And
scary, but exciting.
Very scary.
Very scary.
But even, we've only had this group less than 2 months, and we're already we feel so passionate about it. We feel so passionate about you guys, and it feels right to be able to create something that's a community to help other people.
Yep.
Has been huge. So that's awesome. So can you talk a little bit more about just letting go of fear and what that's done for you, not just in your work, but also in your personal life a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, it's gotten me out. Oh, thank you.
Your hair just a little wonky. Got you.
It's really allowed me a lot of freedom in my life. I think before I was chasing that marriage, and I wanted the stable job and the consistent life. But when I look deep down and let go of the fear, I don't really love stability. I want adventure, and I want excitement in my life, and I want freedom. I don't want to be stuck at a 9-to-5 for 40 years doing something that I'm not excited about. So it's really just allowed me to be brave enough to step out and do things that are exciting to me. I mean, and I'm in a beautiful relationship now, and got good friends, and working towards everything I love. And and it's hard. Again, it's not all just perfect, but I mean, it's so much satisfying, much more satisfying.
Yes, definitely. And Andrea is definitely a great resource for you guys. She's, like she said, she's talked to 2 business coaches. She's gone on retreats. She reads constantly, can never keep up with what book she's on because she's on to the next one or 3 at the same time. And, she's like she said, created a couple different business ideas as it's changed throughout the years, and websites and courses and books. So she's definitely a really great resource for those of you looking into possibly getting out of the clinic, or that have kids that want to create an online business. That's going to be really helpful. So just keeping that in mind. And as a just little bit of a wrap up of what we talked about today, tell everybody about your work and dream life, and just kind of what you're creating and what you're excited about right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, going back, I started in physical therapy full time, and I really going through PT school. I thought I could change the world, and I thought it was just going to be great. And I thought the healthcare system was going to be right where I needed to be. And then I got into it, and I found that it wasn't. And I know some people have great jobs. I know some people love the clinic, but I just found it wasn't for me. And it left me feeling very drained, very just inauthentic. I wasn't able to treat my patients how I wanted to. I wasn't able to create a life that I really wanted to. And so stepping out of it took some bravery, took some courage to do it, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm in a great place, and I still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of work to do, but I really want to help other women see that there is possibilities. You don't have to stay stuck. There are other options without feeling totally unstable. I mean, we can take our creativity and our intelligence and create a lot of excitement in this world and help a lot more people than the healthcare system right now allows. And I think big picture, we want to create a shift in the healthcare system. It doesn't support the employees right now. It's not patient-centered. It's very much turning into a business. And I don't think, I'll speak for myself, that's not why I got into the healthcare system. I got in because I wanted to help people like the student that I went to high school with that wasn't able to help himself, you know, and I want to help people find their physical freedom, but within the healthcare system as it is, I'm not okay. And so if I'm not okay, I can't help others. And so I really just want to give people the opportunity to see that there's more, that the status quo isn't all there is.
Yeah. And I mean, when we're in PT school, I don't know about you, but for me, I vaguely remember maybe a few times being told about other types of jobs, but mostly it's outpatient, inpatient, skilled nursing, inpatient rehab, pediatrics, home health.
Yeah. We had one person come and talk about starting their own clinic, but they took insurance and
right. Yeah. So yeah, this is really exciting, and there are a lot of resources out there, and we're happy to contribute to the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So just a quick little fun thing towards the end. We're going to do some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What was your dream job as a kid?
Oh, I wanted to be either a Blue Angel fighter jet pilot or a Walmart cashier.
Both good choices along the same, path, right? Just
yeah,
drive your
very similar
your plane to work every day. That could work. What are you learning right now that you're excited about?
I'm trying to learn French. My boyfriend, his first language was French, and so I'm trying to learn that. Oui. And then I also am getting into photography.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. More to come on that too. It's gonna be awesome. Dark or milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Okay, you can leave. I got some dark chocolate to give you. If you could go anywhere in the world right now, where would you go?
I think Italy. I've always dreamt of going to Italy.
For what reason?
Just maybe Hollywood has influenced my decision, but the culture just seems really beautiful.
Is there a certain place in Italy or just the country in general?
I don't know. Just the country in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look into it more.
What kind of food would you eat? What's the first thing you'd eat when you get there?
Wine.
And that's it, folks. Now that you've gotten to know Andrea, it's a great place to stop. I think it's perfect. If you guys have further questions, feel free to comment below on this video. Andrea is going to try to get on and answer as many questions as she can. So thank you so much for letting us know a little bit more about you, and there's going to be more features to come.
Thank you.